Has FAU somersaulted over a lot of other teams as like your most aggravating fan base?
Oh, easily. They just think they are so elite because they made this one run. You won this one fluky ass game where there were 6 or 7 different calls. Everyone were up in arms about, like, what are we talking about? And it's not like a thing where they're like, hey, Memphis, great game. You guys are great competitors. I can't wait to see what the future holds between us. Because if they said that, I would respect them. I don't respect FAU fans. I don't.
Tune in to Tigers Untapped with TJ Willis and Trey Lasley every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Choosing the right sports betting platform can be tricky, as most mobile sports betting apps come with limited betting options and customization, delayed cash out and withdrawal times, and tedious customer support, and no true loyalty program with continuous rewards even after signing up. All of this leads to a frustrating, one-sided experience. So, how do you find the one which suits you best? Introducing Zensports. It combines the best of both worlds, a traditional sports book and a cutting-edge peer-to-peer marketplace. Zensports allows you to accept bets against the house, or use our peer-to-peer marketplace to create your own one-of-a-kind bet and set your own odds without the need for a bookmaker. At Zensports, you get more betting options and a cashback rewards through our unique welcome bonus, continuous loyalty program every month, and referral rewards delivered directly into your account. So what are you waiting for? Download the Zensports app today at zensports.com.
Welcome to Bluff City Bets, a Bluff City Media podcast. Join Daniel Greer and Chase Bobbitt as they give their plays of the day and strategies for success as a sports bettor. Now, let's get to the show.
Yo, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to another Friday edition of Bluff City Bets, where I try to make you just a little bit smarter and make your cash go a little bit farther. I am your host, Daniel Greer, and I'm here to lead you on the magical rainbow of cash. You're welcome. All right, so this Friday, this weekend edition, we're going to get into a little bit of MLB. Yeah, I said I'm not going to go do it again, but I want to give some advice. And so I'm not going to give many plays, if any plays. I might give you a lean here or there, but I'm going to give you some players to watch, some teams to watch, and the reasons why. After that, we're going to get into our plays. I have one college play and then one college lean, and then I'm going to have some NFL plays for you. I'm going to go off the board a little bit, but I'm going to go back to some tried and true. I'm going to give you plenty of plays. Last week, it was 2 and 3 on our official plays, and we got hooked on two. It sucked. That hook sucked. And the hook in NFL is completely different than a hook in baseball when you're talking about strikes. In basketball, you're talking about points. You're talking about rushing yards from Josh Allen. Like just little things like that when you get 1 yard or 2 yard, whatever it is. It might be. It's very limited, and it's very weird that we got hit on the hook twice. But nonetheless, we went 2 and 3, and so a losing day. But if you looked at my leans, if you played all my plays, I promise you won because I won. And I know what I'm saying on this show is what I'm playing 100%. So we're going to get to our show, but real quick, let me tell you a little bit about Zensports. Zensports is our presenting sponsor for a reason. They love us, and we love them. But what they do for you, and they do for me, is they give you money back in your pocket. It's 5% cash back when you sign up using the code BLUFFC. It's 5% cash back for the first 15 days. And so everything you spend, it's just like your Target debit card, the red card, whatever that thing is, you get percent back. Well, with this, it's money back. It's straight cash, homie. Straight cash in your pocket, 5% back straight to you for the first 15 days that you play. And then after that, you get up to 3% at the first of the month. Okay, so we're at the halfway of the month. So I got to keep spending money with Zensports to make sure that I get my cash back at the first of the month. That's how it goes. So I can get up to 3% cash back. And then after that, it's all about telling your friends. This is a new sports book. So tell your friends, let them know. And because of that, you'll get 5% cash back for the first 6 months. So you thought the first 15 days of you and what you spend was cool? Just wait till your friend who might suck at betting. He might be amazing. Who cares? As long as he spends money, you get 5% cash back. So go ahead and sign up now and use the code BLUFFC and go ahead and find all of your NFL props. Look for all of your leans. Look for who's going to win. Like the Falcons, I think they went at home this week. So take that to the bank. All right, let's get into a little bit of what we have. We have a fun show for you. And so make sure you tune in each and every week and tell a friend, be a friend. Here at Bluff City Media, we cover all things Memphis, all sports, all the time. It's amazing. If you're missing out, well, you're missing out. Let's just be plain and simple. There's so many things going on right now. It's all about the University of Memphis Tigers, but don't miss out on 901 FC. That's still going on, but the Memphis Tigers are hot. They're getting rolling. They just won last night against a terrible Navy team, and they played terrible, but you know what? They won. And so make sure you tune in because we have so many good shows that are across the board with Bluff City Media. So make sure you tune into that. And guess what's upcoming? The Grizzlies. You can already hear it. The Grizzlies are coming, and I can't wait. Make sure you tune into my show. If you're a Grizzlies fan, tune into my show. After each and every game, it's a 9-0 Grizz 901 post-game show here on the Bluff City Media Network where you can watch these games already. Hit the live button. I promise you my show will be there. But you know what is there? MLB, and it's heating up. I'm a Braves fan. They just clinched out in Philly. So what I'm going to give you this week is a little bit of kind of housekeeping and what's been going on, because a lot of times once football gets going, nobody cares about baseball. So I'm going to kind of go to my notes a little bit. And so I apologize. But a little bit about baseball and what's happening. There's not much left for teams to play for, but what there is left to play for, it is getting very good. And you want to stay tuned for this. All right. So real quick, the baseball races, there are 2 races left for the first place teams. Okay. And that is Baltimore and Tampa Bay. They're separated by 1 game, right? And so with that being said, Baltimore has fallen back to Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is creeping up. So what you're watching is 2 teams that are battling out, knowing they're going to the postseason, but the postseason doesn't matter anymore if you get into the wild card spot. The wild card spot is so much harder to win and get out of. So you got to win first place if you want to be successful into the playoffs. And so that's 2 teams I'm watching. Okay. And I'm not really in love with either of those teams and the way they're playing. I think they are matched up this weekend. And there's so many tiebreakers that come into play. I believe Baltimore has to actually sweep them in the 3-game set to carry the actual tiebreaker. But I'm not loving these 2 teams, but 2 teams that I think you need to watch for is the Baltimore Orioles and Tampa Bay Rays. All right, the other one I like, and this is the one I love the most, the best race in baseball is Houston, Seattle, and Texas. They're all within a game and a half of each other from first place. All 3 teams in first place. All 3 teams are also going to be in the wild card because they're playing very, very well. Okay, so they have a lot to play for. And we talk about that wild card. Tampa Bay, who I talked about with Baltimore, they're up 9 games. The only thing they're going to be playing for is to win that first place. I don't care about the wild card there because they're going to be in the wild card spot. Well, Texas is only a game up on Seattle, who is in their division, who's going for first place. And after that, it's Toronto, the Blue Jays. They are a game and a half back of Seattle. So honestly, you slip up in that division and you can fall out of the wild card. So there's 3 teams that are playing for first place. There's also 3 teams making sure they stay within the wild card because they don't want to lose that. And so a team that I'm loving right now, actually, you know what? It's all 3 teams. Houston is completely hitting the ball so well. Texas is getting hot at the right time. Corey Seager, finally, he's turned it on up and down, but he is so in fuego right now. It's amazing. And then Seattle, Julio Rodriguez, J-Rod, those are 3 teams, and also in the 3 players, Altuve with Houston, J-Rod with Seattle, and then Corey Seager with Texas. 3 guys I want to make sure I'm paying attention to, whether it's hits, runs, RBIs, whether it's total bases, whatever it is. I'm making sure I'm paying attention to those 3 dudes on those 3 teams. And what I'm probably looking at is probably the runs in those 3 teams to score over their runs, because right now I have an official play on the Texas Rangers tonight, go against Lucas Giolito. Yeah, he sucks. Yeah, go ahead and take them over 4.5 runs at plus 120. I played that earlier today. All right, so the other thing that I'm looking at is the wild card race in the National League. You're talking about Philadelphia, the Phillies, who just lost 3 or 4 to the Braves, had them clinch on their home field. They're probably a little pissed off. And so I would imagine that Philadelphia being 4 games up in the wild card, I like them. I think that Trey Turner, a guy that you can back any day and every day. He is so hot right now. You can take his total bases. You can take his hits, runs, RBIs. But just pay attention. If you take his total bases, he doesn't hit a lot of doubles. He hits a lot of home runs, but he hits a lot of doubles. But what he's also doing is something you can look at is probably about plus 180 to plus 220 is the range for 2+ hits a game. He's that hot right now. So if you want to back off a little bit of how much you're actually putting out in a unit of what you're betting, then go ahead and just put in a half unit of him hitting 2+ hits a game at plus 200. And I promise you're going to be beneficial for that. The Cubs are up 2.5 on the next team, which is the Giants. But the Giants, the Reds, the Arizona Diamondbacks are all tied for that 3rd spot in the wild card. And right behind them, a half game back, is the Miami Marlins. All right, so that is 6 teams all within, let's say, 4.5 games of first place. Okay, 3 games of second place, but they're literally 4 teams within a half a game of each other, one way or the other, with Miami being the half team back. So all of those 6 teams are going to be playing with roughly 15 to 16 games left. You're going to see some teams clinching, but those are the teams I'm looking for, and that's what I'm just kind of paying attention to with baseball. It's forgotten about, and that's fine. But if you like some guys, if you're going to back a Trey Turner, which I am, I have consistently cashed with him. I have backed off my betting unit, and I've tried to be smart with it and just make sure that, hey, I'm not going to go bet too much, but I'm going to go and specialize on these guys who are playing to get into the playoffs. Yeah, and they're hot. Can't go against it. You know what else is who hot? Is college football. College football is so hot right now. And you know what is just kind of sizzling? You can hear it. You can hear Prime. You can hear, it's not Prime Day. No, it's not Amazon Prime Day, but it's the Prime Show with College Game Day. Colorado State. My official play on this is the first quarter over 13.5. And if you're wondering, well, Colorado started off so slow last week. So slow. You know what they did? They picked it up. And I think they figured out that the little hangover that they had after beating TCU, well, that was real. And so you're going to have a Colorado team come out and score definitely in the first quarter. But what I also think will happen is their defense, which hasn't been great early in the game, because they're not getting the tempo going. They can't get into the pace of the game. And so they can't have their athletes just flying around. Well, that happens in the second half. But in the first quarter, I think it's very, very good idea to go after a Colorado State who isn't good, but they have to back up what their coach kind of said and the trash talk that they've kind of done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this over 13.5 just for the first quarter. That is a total. All I need is 2 touchdowns. I don't care who they come from. I don't care if it's Colorado State that has 14-0 at the end of the first quarter. I don't care, but I like this number. I believe it is at I think it's minus 115. I found this over at BetMGM, so that's something to pay attention to. And right now in football betting, BetMGM is crushing it. There's nothing against Zensports. Zensports has a very good money line odds. They also have some player props here and there. We can't play player props in Tennessee, but that was with the NFL. But for college, we can't play player props. Hard for me to say. All right, so that is my official play. But I think this is a Colorado run over Colorado State. Their line for the total is 43.5. Can't say I love that. That's a lot of points. 44 points. It is College Game Day. But if they're going to get to 44 points, I think they're going to have to score at least, I'd say 10 points in the first quarter. And so that's how I think they get there. But let's say they score a touchdown. Colorado State scores a touchdown. We cash. Easy enough. All right. The other lean I have for college football is going to be Florida State over 34.5 on a team total. I like it. I think it's a good play. I just don't know about the hurricane and the winds and the rain and whatever else. There's so much going on. This is a complete hold for a second. I want to see what the weather's going to do. And so if the weather looks okay, I think Florida State runs away from this game. The line's only 24.5, but I just think they can score 35 points. They've done it every game. 35 points should be easy for Florida State. I want to make sure it's not a complete downpour. If it's raining, that's fine. Whatever. I just want to make sure that the game won't get called. No delays happen. Just make sure that there is somewhat of a game that can take place. And if that is, I'm going to be hitting the over 34.5 for Florida State. All right, let's get into the NFL. And my first play, you could have caught this 3 days ago in the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, it's free. It's literally, the Discord is free. I give you plays on a Tuesday. You're waiting to get them on Friday, and you've waited way too long. The line has moved completely, but I don't care. I gave the play out on Tuesday. Over 67.5 receiving yards for Calvin Ridley. Make sure you go and hit this. My model says that he's going to have right around 91. And so obviously that is just a prediction, but he completely blew up the first week. 101 yards, 8 receptions against the Indianapolis Colts. The Chiefs allowed 253 receiving yards against Detroit. I know that was opening night. There's not much going to change. The Chiefs are not great defensively, especially out on the outside. And so I think Calvin Ridley can easily cash this. I think he can cash it with 2 catches because he's electric, and especially with this Jacksonville offense, I think they're going to be very good. And I think you're going to see a lot of scoring in this game. But also, I think you're going to see a lot of Ridley, right? There's other guys that are good. I think Calvin Ridley is going to be their dude. And so I expect him to go over this big time. All right, let's get into my next play. And this is another guy I liked last week, and nobody probably believed me. Why would you choose Brandon Ayuk over Deebo Samuel, over George Kittle? Well, you know why? He went for 129 yards on 8 receptions versus the Steelers. It was beautiful. Now we're getting another good line. It's not above 60, I don't believe yet. Over 57.5 receiving yards at minus 115. I put this out earlier in the week as well. And I can't remember if it was Tuesday. It might have been Wednesday. Either way, whenever the lines came out, I make sure I put them in our Discord. But the 129 yards versus the Steelers was great. I think he does this again. My model has this at 71, so it's not a crushing number. And the reason is because we don't know about the Rams. The Rams, dude, they allowed 112 receiving yards versus Seattle. Is that Geno in the Seattle offense, or is that actually the Rams? And so we don't know. But I still like this. At the model giving it to 71 yards. I still think that I'm going to go ahead and ride with Brandon Ayuk. And so we're going to keep cashing with Ayuk. All right. My other receiver, my last receiver, is Nico Collins. I played him again last week. I can't remember if we did that on the show or not, but over 45.5 receiving yards. The line was great. I still like it. He had 80 yards on 6 receptions. But what I look for, and a lot of people don't pay attention to, is the actual targets. He had 11 targets. And because of the 11 targets, he is their main GOAT there on the offense. And so Dalton Schultz was not good at all. I had a play on him. I had a lean on him. He was not good at all. But Nico Collins, over 45.5 receiving yards. My model has this at 74. So this is a bigger line. They're going against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Against the Colts. And the Colts allowed 241 receiving yards to our boy Calvin Ridley and Zay Jones and Trevor Lawrence. But they allowed 241 receiving yards. I just think there's so much there for that to happen. And the potential with 11 targets, even if he backs off to 8 or 9, I still think that we can get to 50 plus yards for Nico Collins. All right, before I get into my next 2, let me tell you a little bit about our friends again at Zensports. So Zensports is obviously who we want you to use. right? We want you to use Zensports. Look there first. But go ahead and sign up so you can see for yourself a little bit about what Zensports is and what they're doing. As I told you earlier, you get the cash back. Well, you know what? It's just plain and simple. It doesn't take a genius. I'm not a smart dude. You know what? I've never claimed to be the smartest dude ever. But what you can do is go ahead and start getting your cash back now with cash rewards with Zensports. Use the code BLUFFC. Very simple, not very hard. BLUFFC, Bluff City Media, BLUFFC, BLUFFC. And what you'll do is you'll get 5% cash back for the first 15 days. And then after that, when you keep spending and you don't withdraw, you can get up to 3% cash back each and every first of the month. And then once you tell your friends, you get 5% cash back for the first 6 months. So it's beautiful. I love it. It's a very good company. It's a very good brand. They're only growing. And with that, we want to be on the front end of this, and we are. And so make sure you go ahead and tell your friends about Zensports. I promise you won't regret it. Go ahead and let them know. BLUFFC. Just tell them. Just if you could, just tell them in their ear. BLUFFC. Go ahead and sign up. Use BLUFFC. All right. What we have now is two guys that I like on the defensive end. And I don't know if you remember what we talked about last week, but I gave you a bunch of names, the top 4 guys, the leading tacklers last year. All 4 guys went double digits in their actual tackles. So I have 2. And the only reason I have 2 is for the simple fact that they don't have the lines out yet. I will have more. All right. So let me tell you the other 3 guys that I am playing. All 3 of these guys had double-digit tackles. My favorite is Zaire Franklin out of the Colts. He's amazing. I love him. He is their main dude he's their main linebacker on defense. And so Zaire Franklin out of the Colts, I love him. If it's over 8.5, easy money. 9.5, you want to give me plus odds, I'll take that too. Another guy that we didn't have last week was Bobby Wagner for Seattle. And so I'm also doing some other things. If you're following me, I'm trying to do and add to my model and try to see if I can come up with some, tackle and assist numbers, for the simple fact that I'm looking at tackles allowed per game by the team. So I want to see if there is a scheme. Is it a team that has a certain type of offensive scheme that allows for more tackles, combined tackles and assists than other teams? So last week, the Houston Texans allowed for 80. They allowed for 80 tackles and assists last game. Zaire Franklin, he's going against the Texans. Okay. They allow for 80. I expect that number to be big again. And so another team, who else do we have here? Bobby Wagner's going against Detroit. Detroit allowed for 72 tackles and assists. And then the other guy, whatever his name is. He's the guy out of Jacksonville. Well, they're going against the Chiefs. The Chiefs only allow for 53. So that's something I want to watch. Does that number adjust compared to other? But Foye Alukun, whatever his name is, he was the leading tackler last year in the entire season. He's the linebacker out of Jacksonville. And so if he's got 8.5, 9.5, I'm going to keep playing that as long as the odds aren't crazy. I don't want to get 10 or above, right? As long as I can get to the 10 mark in double digits, I feel comfortable. All right. I had it up on the screen earlier, but Roquan Smith out of Baltimore, over 9.5 tackles and assists at plus 105. I believe I found this over at MGM. Make sure you go ahead and check out whatever books. If you want to follow me at Pickett, it's an app. It keeps all of your bets in one place. It tells you what you're making, what you're losing. Very smart way of doing it. That way you don't have to try to keep up with it yourself. That way you don't allow yourself to kind of give yourself a break on some bets. It tells you the truth. But also what you can do is I can put in Roquan Smith in that game, in the Ravens game, and it'll tell me, hey, who has the best odds? And then I can go to whatever book that is straight from their app, and I can go ahead and put in Roquan Smith, the play over 9.5 tackles and assists, plus 105 at MGM. I did that. I just played it maybe 30 minutes before I started recording. And so go ahead and hit that. I expect a double-digit sacks out of him again. I just think that Roquan is a guy who can dominate, and he consistently dominates. And I believe Cincinnati Bengals will play much better this week. They only allow for 51 tackles and assists last week, but that was right around the same amount of yardage that Joe Burrow threw for. So I expect Joe Mixon to get some work, Burrow to get some passes off. And so I think it'll be a better week for Cincinnati. And so with that, I just think the Ravens have a chance to really be a good defensive team, and Roquan Smith leading the way. All right, my last guy who I knew not a lot about prior to kind of doing some studying this weekend is TJ Edwards out of the Chicago Bears. Over 7.5 tackles plus assists. He had 14 tackles plus assists last game, and that was against the Tampa Bay Bucks. They allowed 77 tackles and assists. If you think about what I just talked about earlier with Cincinnati, they had 51, right? That's a 16 tackle and assist difference. It's pretty big. And so, sorry about that. So I expect that the Bucks allowing that much, and TJ Edwards being a lower number, over 7.5, with him almost doubling that last week, I expect TJ Edwards to again lead the way. He was a top 5 or top 6 tackles plus assists guy in the league last. That's it. That's all we got. We're heading into another week. It's going to be awesome. Make sure you tune in each and every Friday as we keep going to the cash rainbow each and every week. This week, I'm guaranteeing we are going to be profitable. Last week, 2-3 with the hook. I'm riding my dudes. We're going 5-0. And then you know what? Go ahead and get up to 8-0 as we get Zaire Franklin. We're going to get Bobby Wagner. And then Foyer, I can't say his name, Alukum. Yeah, that guy. Maybe I'll do some research. Next week for you, all of you, I'll do my research on exactly how to pronounce his name so we don't disrespect the man anymore. We're going crazy. We're going to be tackling the weekend. Tackle it with me next week as we keep cashing. Let's cash and keep making money. See you next week.
Thank you for listening to Bluff City Bets. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. For comprehensive coverage of all things Memphis sports, head over to www.bluffcitymedia.co and find out how you can become an insider. We will see you back here next week.
It's hard to poke a hole in this roster. I mean, it's weird saying that in August, but just looking at the spread of it, the way it's worked out and come together, and what the staff has done, once again, flowers are deserved.
Isn't it like if you're poking a hole, it's all kind of more abstract thoughts.
Absolutely.
Like how are they going to gel? If you're just talking roles, they have every role filled.
Yep, we won't know that for months.
Yeah.
So instead of harping on that, like, you know, some people are going to get fired up about that now. Like, just looking at what's built and where this could potentially go is pretty cool.
Tune in to On the Bluff with Christian Fowler and Gabe Kuhn every Tuesday at 12 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
What's a common criticism that people say about Paul Young, or something negative they may say, and what do you have to say in response to that?
They say too young, if they're from the older generation, and the response is, well, line us up and ask us any question. I'm not that young. I'm 43. Right. I'm a grown man. It's been working for the last 20 years.
I feel old. We the same age.
Yeah, we old, man.
Right.
We old now. Certainly there are those that love to throw this card saying that I'm a Republican, which they know I'm not. We too focused on stuff that don't matter.
Right.
Because none of that matters. I'm a Democrat, and I lead with that. But at the end of the day, Democrats been in office, Republicans been in office. When I go to the hood, the result is the same. So what we talking about? Like, who's going to get the job done for Memphis? Yeah. Those are the things that I think we need to be talking about. But, you know, it's a distraction that people use because they feel this momentum and energy, and they want to figure out how to stop it.
Man, I feel you 100 on this.
Tune in to The Anthony Sane Show Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.